additions to Abaq's family. I found a set of footprints which were about 6 to 7 inches long, and that caused alarm bells for me. I thought, there can't be a child that is young enough for those, because I have Gefeber at 10 years old, which would make her around about my height, a bit shorter than me. I'm 5'8", but I would think she would be between 5 and 6 feet tall. So there's a gap between her, Gefeber, and between Leola at 16. So I asked Abaq, are there more children in that gap? And he said yes. So what we have is Yabadkab. He is 13 years old, and that's the second brother. And then we have, next to him, Abeba, A-B-E-B-A. And Abeba means little flower, by the way. Abeba is 11. Then there's Gefeber, and the little feet belong to one that is 6 years old. It's another boy. So there are 3 boys and 5 girls. And the little boy is Tababa, T-A-B-A-B-A, Tababa, and he's 6. So that's a sizable family, 8 children. And there are reasonable gaps in between them. Their ages, you've got Seo, 24, Mebki, 22, Abidam, between 19 and 20, and then you've got Leola at 16, and then down to Yabadkab, and he's 13, and then at 11, Abeba, at 10 years old, Gefeber, and then at 6, Tababa. So there's a decent age between them all. Now Fabasakwa is 43, and Abaq is 78, so you can see they've got a good wide age group of children. And Fabasakwa's been a busy girl. She's always had her hands full with children. Isn't that lovely to have a nice big family? So how do we miss these people? Could we not see them? But the footprints, some of the footprints they leave are interesting. Just wanted to point this one out because this tree is snapped, and we're looking at about 15 feet above the ground. No reason for it to snap at all. It looks perfectly healthy, but there's nothing else around it that's fallen down. It's a pretty big tree. So we've got a strange arrangement of trees here. This one here, and I'm guessing that's about 5 meters long where it's snapped. This is the other half of it, probably about 8 to 10 meters long. Lovely in the afternoon sunlight, isn't it? The way the light casts its shadow on the moss and on the ground. And at the base of that you've got this, and that's about 3 meters high, and there seems to be a lot of these around in these woods, and you can see it's kind of soft. It looks like, yeah, it's really soft, so it might be rotten, but I can't. Maybe a woodpecker has been having a poke, but I think that they would make a much better job of those holes. So that's the first of many of those, and underneath that we have this tree here, which is, you can just see it, the end of it here. Let's follow that line down, all the way down, and that is quite a large tree. You can see the size of this now. Let's have a guess. Probably, I don't know, from here, let's see, It's about 15 metres long, 15 to 20 metres long. And beside that, well, we have this for a start off. Got a little X there. And then on this side, Alina there. So then we have another monster tree here, which runs from down here all the way up, and it goes way up beyond there. So I guess that tree is probably 30 metres long. And I should say that we're right beside a very busy main road here, so that's what all the ambient noise is. So just around this little bit, so you get a sense of how everything is intertwined. There's a separate Lena here, one that's arch-shaped here, and all of these are all bent into a specific shape over what appears to be, frankly, a straggly type of teepee. And another arch, actually, another arch. Goodness. Okay. So, have a quick, see the holly, the sunlight on the holly, and then you get all that sort of arrangement up there. So you're going to be pretty big and pretty strong to organise that. So I think that counts most humans out. See how close we are to the main road? Can you see the cars going past? That's quite remarkable that all of this is so close. But one. Oh. Just bring you to this one. Two. And look at the arches. Can you see the arches here? One. And even the second branch is made into a complete arch. So this is an area that came to my attention because I was working near here, and it sometimes has I have quite a bit of time to spare, so I thought I would potter down here and just come for a walk, not expecting to see a thing. But I stand surprised. See how close the road is here? You couldn't make it up, could you? All of these little places, to me, look like good vantage points for observation, for observing people. They almost look like people have sat on here. And if you look closely, that's a footprint. There's a heel there. The bottom of the heel comes here. And it comes up like that. There you go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Big fat toe. Wow. So this is like a, looks like a sitting area. And that, like I say, is right beside the main road. So at night time, they can see all that's going on. And they've moved around. These have been sawn, these logs, but they've probably moved these round. See, there's a patch here that's bare, not many needles on it. Probably been sitting on that. Almost certainly been sitting on these. Probably sat them round to have areas of convenience. It's like a, I wonder if they sleep on this area, a nesting area. Oh, they could sit here and watch everybody coming in and out. So I have called this area Winterburn because of this. It's not its proper name, of course, but it's the name I'll give it so that I don't want to advertise its location. So many sticks and creations here. So many of them. You just are spoilt for arches. Little ones, bigger ones. This is like weaved. They're almost weaved. They wouldn't fall into that pattern. And there are some more down by the burn. So we've got a Y-shaped stick there. Well, it's a tree that's been pushed against this birch. And then in between all of that is this one here. See? Isn't it clever stuff? It is really clever stuff. And can you believe this is all within the 10 paces of a major trunk road? A major one. It almost looks like the start of another teepee of a kind. And that's the big lean of trees. You can see those in the middle there, creating their shapes. The evening light, late afternoon, early evening light is so pretty, so attractive. So I've come across here to show you these. I can't tell you how many of them there are in these woods, but they've all got this sort of pockmarked effect. Oh, it might be just totally natural, but the bark has all been peeled off, and as you can see, the bark must be useful to somebody because it's gone. So that's about 2.5 feet above my head, so it's about 2.5 meters in height, that one. Wow. Long shadows. Very beautiful. So, we'll keep going. A mere stone's throw away. We have this. I think it's the roots of an upturned tree, but all these sticks have been placed in here, all these additions, some of which are like that one, Y-shaped. All got the Y, all about the friendship. But, in truth, there's a main road just over there. There's a house over there. So if you wanted to observe traffic going past, or observe what the people were doing in the house, this would be a perfect hiding place and no one would see you. Just a thought. Don't have many, but it is just one of them. One of the thoughts I have. Oh, while the sun is giving this beautiful light. Can you see this here? Look at that. An arch. I guess that's about 4.5 meters above the ground. And it's interesting. And we've got this. Let me see if I can point some things out. We've got another one of these half tree things. And then these weird shaped trees. See quite a few of these bowed out. I don't think that's by accident. Might be wrong, but I don't think that's by accident. So, here's the moss. Look at that, they're like miniature fir trees. How stunning is that? You see that? The way the light shines and how fine, it's almost filigree. Look at the work into creating one of those tiny little things of moss that most of us would just probably walk past because it's moss. And everything's green in a forest, isn't it? It helps that it's a lovely cool day. I say lovely and cool, I'm really a warm weather person, but we've got rid of the rain. We seem to feel like we've had weeks and weeks of rain. So, these are puffball things. It's a green puffball. Look at that. On the moss. This is an old yew tree. I say it's old, it doesn't look like it's massive round the bottom there, but these can be slow old growing trees. So it could easily be 400 or 500 years old. We just don't appreciate its age. Walk past it because it's just an old tree. But if you were to raid that tree's memory and say, what do you remember? What has happened in your lifetime? Well, if it's 500 years old, and I'm guessing it's between 400 and 500 years old, it can take us back to 1600. It can remember a king that's had his head chopped off. Charles I. It can remember Bonnie Prince Charlie, the 1745. It can remember Waterloo. Its young soldiers going off to battle. It can remember many, many tales. Keepers of secrets. I believe trees are keepers of secrets. Knowers of knowledge. And in this sort of Bigfoot world, they seem to have a sort of a mysticism, a supernatural to us. Seems like supernatural powers. Just wanted to show you this. This is one of the largest arches with the size of the actual branch. That's quite large. Put my hand on there. That's bent all the way around down into here. We get some snapping going on there, but they all sort of come up into a tripod shape there. But it's just very cleverly done. It must have been done over years, when it was but a small sapling. Well, this area, as beautiful as it is, it's very close to a road, and it's about 10 miles from where I live. And the reason why I show you all of these areas is they are all connected in one way or another with a family of Abaq. So I got here one morning and I spotted all of these tree leaners and arches, and I thought, wonder what this is about. So as I got a bit further into it, I felt this incredible sense of sadness, hollowness, emptiness, but overpowering sense of sadness, to the point of it brought me to tears. And I had my divining rods with me, so I thought, I'm going to ask Abaq what this is about. So I said, Abaq, I said, are your family connected with these woods? And he said, yes. And I asked, I said, do you have a member of your family in here now? And he said, yes. And I said, this sadness, this immense sadness. I said, is it connected to you? And he said, yes. It was overwhelming. It was just all enveloping, overwhelming. So I asked him, I said, is this a brother or a sister? And the response was yes. So I singled it out and I said, is it a brother? And the answer was correct. It was a brother. I said, was this brother older than you? And he said, yes. And I said, does he have a partner that still lives here? And the answer is yes. So his brother's name is Wayfada, Waefada. And its name really, I think it's sort of Arabic origin, but it means loyalty. So this brother is 6 years older than Abaq, and he's 84. Now seemingly he died. I believe it was in June, so we're 5 months down the line. And this sadness I felt, and I could feel Abaq clearly distressed, upset. And he said he was not only his brother, but he was also his closest friend. And the pain that he was feeling was immense. And I just found it very, very disturbing. So I asked if he had a partner. And he did. And his partner is still here. And her name is, it's quite difficult, is Yabadkab. 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 And Yabadkab is still around here. Can you imagine the sadness and the loss that she has felt? So I asked her back, I said, did your brother have any children? And the answer was yes. And he had 10 children. The oldest of which, I believe, is 56 years old. I'm looking in this direction directly ahead of me now because I can hear crackling as I'm talking. So, Yabadkab, this lady must have felt enormous pressure to lose her lifelong partner, her soulmate, her best friend as well. The pain must have been immeasurable, and that's what I could feel. And I sort of said to her, I said, I can feel your pain, I can feel it, as I could with Abaq. And I said I can feel how much hurt there must have been there. And I said if I was able to, I'd just want to give you a hug. And she said we could hug each other. I thought, how lovely, what a generous thought. So, you know, when we're wandering through these woods and we see all, you know, the evidence of the forest people here, there's more to it. There's more to it than that. There's far more to it. But here we are. And she lives in a beautiful place like this. So I decided a couple of days ago I would take her a little gift. And near a teepee where I felt this sadness, I thought I'll pop a rose. I had a white rose and I'll pop it in there. So I stuck it in the soil. And she has received it and she has seen it. She has left it in place. She's taken it out of the soil. She's laid it flat. And beside there is the finest filigree work of a stick creation you've ever seen. I don't know what it means. I don't know what shape it is. But I'll show you. This is quite near to the path. And this is where I brought Yabadkab a rose. And I stuck it in the ground. I planted it almost. But it's laying flat. And yesterday, this creation of sticks, which as you can see is stuck in the ground, but this was built, it's like filigree. I don't know what it means, but I think it's commemoration.